Hi, my name's Leslie Bullock and I'm here to introduce you to a little area that I call home, and it's called Brighton Beach. It's in Aldershot. Not a lot of people know about Brighton Beach because it's kind of off the beaten trail, so I just wanted to highlight what it is to you. So we're standing on Brighton Beach. It's 5.5 acres of conservation land and it's referred to as the lower ground. We're right on the Burlington Bay. Hamilton is to our south, and the low-level bridge, and it's just a beautiful spot and a beautiful place that we call home. Lots of trails around here. So Brighton Beach was created in the early 1900s, about 1910, 1911. This land was sold to a visionary developer by the name of W.D. Flatt. And Mr. Flatt had an idea to create a little bit of a different oasis for people, and he actually built it for the people of Hamilton. And the way he described it is this little bit of paradise 1 mile south of James Street, and James Street is of course directly over here, and you could take a ferry over here, or if you had a vehicle in 1910, 1911 that was worthy of going on the road, it's a mile on York Boulevard and Plains Road and around to this area. He was selling the lots for $500 a piece. They're a little more these days, 100 years further. The neat thing about Brighton Beach is the upper ground, which he subdivided into 75 lots, all have a 1/75th ownership of the lower ground, which is 5.5 acres of conservation. It's deeded, it's on title. There's a small group of people that take it upon themselves to maintain the area, to keep it clean, to cut down any trees that need to be cut down, to mulch the paths, to tidy up, to clean up. There's a couple of people that really look after the garbage, because we do get from the bay and from some really big storms, we do get things that come up onto the beach. A word about the beach and the conservation land again is that it is private. It's not public access. We've got private keep out signs all over the place. So the sort of houses that you'll find in the Brighton Beach community are anywhere from the small, humble frame cottages that were built in the early 1900s. There's a few, several actually, craftsman style, arts and crafts style of homes with the lovely big porches and the verandas and things like that. There was a few that were built in the 70s, so that split level, back level kind of look. There are a couple from the early 1800s that integrated into the Brighton Beach community, and then there's several new builds, one or two ultra modern. So it's a really eclectic mix, and the values range all over the board, and that's what we like about the community. The location is actually, if you're familiar with Plains Road West and you're traveling along in that big curve where it goes in front of the Hendry Gardens and the RBG Main Center, Spring Gardens Road is just off that part of Plains Road. You go behind RBG Center, around about where Easterbrooks is. A lot of people in the neighborhood know where Easterbrooks hot dog stand is. And then we're in behind there, off Bonnie View, Park Hill, Bayshore Boulevard, and West Oval are the streets that encompass this area. The walkability score, which is a hot thing on MLS and in real estate these days, is low, because you can walk to RBG and Easterbrooks, and that's about it. But the walkability score is high if you love hiking, walking your dogs along the trails. We are surrounded by some massive cemeteries, which are beautiful areas for walking dogs, in my opinion. Massive old mature trees, paved areas, lots of watering stations, things like that. And then if you go through Woodland Cemetery, you go down into the Valley Inn, you're on RBG land. Royal Botanical Gardens, you're in the Grindstone Marsh. You can go up into the Laking Garden to have a look at the iris gardens. You can turn right and you can go along the boardwalk and promenade through the Grindstone Marsh, which is amazing. So you could walk for miles and not really even cross a road. So it's the walkability score in my mind is high for that. Contact me if you're interested in learning more about Brighton Beach. Leslie at lesliebullock.ca.